November 18th, 2026. It's autumn in the 1800 in the afternoon. No, that's night. That's evening. 6 p.m. is evening, man. 44 days since the instance. It's been about 2 weeks. Why in God's name are you including dates if you're just gonna have Inko spell out it's been 2 weeks anyway? You can also just say it's 2 days to trial. That's all we really need to know. He said it was in a few weeks. Ugh. I decided to give me some clothes to be more comfortable since at night I was starting to feel a little cold with these stupid hospital clothes. So, you're in a hospital and they refuse to warm you up? Inko, you're a human. If you're cold, how the heck is any dinosaur surviving in this place? He brought me something, even though I didn't want to pay him for it, but he just smiled and handed me over the clothes. They were warm house clothes. They looked like... What are we doing? I know, listen. I know this is to make Eric look nice, but couldn't Eric just bring over, like, a nice blanket? Like, he could have just brought over a nice blanket. He's like, oh, man, the hospital room is so warm. It's so cold. It's a little too cold for me. They're like, oh, you're a warm-blooded human. You'll make it. I just want a blanket. It's a very nice gesture on his part. I'll wear some gloves and a wool net. What is wrong with your hospital? What hospital leaves a patient in the cold where they would need any of that? Also, I love to imagine that, like, Eric and the doctor sitting in the room is like, Doctor, why is this place sub-zero? He's like, oh. It's autumn! In the fucking tropics! How is it this cold? Is it to help cold-blooded creatures heal? Surely they have human accommodations for that. He came back a couple of times to check on me, and happy it's fine to see me walking. Man, I can actually attend the trial, yay! Although he tried to hide it, I noticed a certain strangeness in his face. He looked tired, although I didn't give him much importance. Didn't give him much mind. I guess he must be filling out a lot of paperwork due to his early retirement. I can't imagine he has to hand off so many cases. The man is just like, I have to tell you this and this, so that in case later, you know why. Ugh. While it was true that I was cold, the reason was another. It hurt to walk, but I didn't care. It was hard to breathe. Basically, he should not be in a courtroom because he's probably not going to be good enough for it. Like, I imagine you're only allowed in a courtroom if you're, like, capable of actually surviving the court case. Dang. I'm very out of it lately. Sorry, I got distracted. So, did you know the Discord nowadays, when you copy your fucking post, it also includes, like, the goddamn mentions? So I'm, like, copying something here because of reasons. And it apparently... Oh, why did it include those? Man, I'm very confused right now. Why is this happening? Why is Discord constantly changing how copying text works? Oh, no, wait. Is it because of... is it because if I click select, right? If I click select and I used copy, does it now include it? Yes. But if I click select and I use copy, Control C, who the fuck designed this website? Because, fun fact, if I recall correctly, it is a browser. Discord is just a browser. Anyways, guy's cold, and I'm so bored I immediately got distracted by a little flight of whimsy. The pill seemed to stop working with such a sort of dose. I mean, that's how it works, man. Don't get addicted to painkillers. Body aches with the cold at night. Look for the relief the pain. Does it bother you so much? Let me guess, you're gonna get more warm clothes to go to the gas station. How did you... Are you at home? I was under the impression you were still at the hospital. So should they just leave the hospital? Like, I don't know what to tell you, Inko, but your condition is not that they're just letting you leave at night. Maybe during the day, maybe under supervision. Maybe to like a small park if you happen to feel like it. But not like at night. Especially not in a city that is implied to have at least a somewhat dangerous night scene, given that, you know, NASA's car got shot. And, you know, Skid Row exists. About the biggest bottle of whiskey. I thought you liked bourbon. It did smell strong, but I didn't care. I think it's a large bottle of a problem. So change the package to make it chew. I'm baffled by Inko's inability to understand what he's doing is wrong. Also, I like how he said that he wasn't going to be alcoholic, and he turns into one! Congratulations, we've made one correct step in terms of writing characters. Before leaving the gas station where I was, saw a pair of glasses in the shop window. They were aviator glasses. I bought a camera on a hunch. I bought aviator glasses on a hunch. I guess I'm going to be a pilot now. They were cheap, but I like I read a fucking... Oh, no, it's a different shop. Put in the glasses. It's the middle of the night, and you could just walk into a store? Like, I imagine the gas station's open, because it's a fucking gas station. But you're not walking into a goddamn random store to buy aviator goggles. Also, not aviator glass, aviator goggles, but whatever, man. That's like translation issues that almost certainly happen that you wouldn't pick up on unless you know what you're looking for. I looked at myself in the mirror in the shop window and smiled widely. First time I smiled at myself in front of a mirror for months was an honest smile. I'm impressed you're able to smile at your reflection, considering it's been 2 weeks since you found out that apparently your eye's fucked up and your face is scarred. Again, they just let you walk out? Dude, you're not walking out of a fucking hospital at night. Who runs this place? The patients are kept freezing cold. They don't care about the fact that people are bringing alcohol into the room or that you're mixing your opioids and your alcohol. No one seems to fucking know that you're leaving the building. Who's running this place? Get this man fired. Send him to the principal's office and have him expelled. I doubt he would see me again for the rest of the day. Ralph Waters past the hot dog stand. Isn't it the middle of the night? Why the fuck is Tracy running her business at night? Like, it's kind of cute when she does it in one of the endings, right? Which was in Snoot Game, mind you. Also, this is like 10 years later. Tracy is not sticking outside in the middle of a cold autumn night. She is not. And if it's not cold, then why is Inko's room cold? Like, none of this feels like it's part of the same scene or congruent with its own conceptualization of reality. It's like it's trying to do 3 very different scenes and different environments with different characters, and it's like, we need to put them together. Also, why are we invoking Tracy? She's Snoot Game. Jesus Christ. The hospital food was rubbish, always cold. Because apparently no one turns on the heat despite everyone being fucking dinosaurs. Despite the fucking temperature. I mean, I guess it's been raining the whole time. Body's already wanted to stop working and see the cold. Yeah, why do they let you go? Who let this man out? The straw that broke the camel's back was the rain. They let a man with a scar and a head wrapping with known physiotherapy leave the hospital at night, in the cold, in the rain. Inko, when you walk back inside, the doctor's going to be like, Inko, we're going to have to strap you down because you are acting like a dementia patient. Jesus Christ. Also, your bandages are now soaked and will need to be replaced. Unless you want that fungal infection I talked about. Until recently, I love the rain. Yes, you already mentioned this in the same fucking chapter. Although you never implied you were under it. It was implied that you stood by the window to listen. What is going on? Now he has a panic attack. This feels right. Like, this is a completely separate chapter that he wrote after realizing that maybe there's a... Damn. It's my head that makes me want to rebel... It's my head that makes me want... That wants to make me remember, like, a bad joke. Put an apostrophe, put some commas in there. Because it's, like, is an interjection. It's not part of the sentence. Stepping into the elevator made me have Olmer's Olivia again. Let's see. Yeah, because Olivia is associated with elevators in your mind. Because you were in the elevator with her and all that. And she typically takes them. You really think it would have worked? No! Marrying people doesn't solve your fucking problems! Why is this author such a goddamn retard? I'm sorry, I prefer not to use the word, but that's the only way I can describe this person. His logic is backwards. On everything. It's like everything exists to be dramatic, but not to be congruent or logical or have a through line or be emotional or have connections to people, just to be melodramatic. Like, I can see Inko buying a gun and going to Olivia's house and pointing it at her just because it's dramatic. Regardless of the fact that Inko would never buy a gun, because that's just not his way. And the story would also refuse to acknowledge that the only reason he would buy a gun is because Olivia's so strong and he would need something that gives him an edge. You know, it wouldn't even think about that. It would just go, a gun. I'm gonna shoot her with it. Bam, bam. Almost empty hallway, sound of distant footsteps. Again, how did you... I like how he just walked in, no one acknowledged his presence. You do know, right, that hospitals have reception areas, right? Like, how did he just walk out? Goddamn, I'm losing my damn mind. Also, I don't know how to tell you this, but I've been to like a very big hospital, and I'm pretty sure they have like little shops and stores and knickknacks in the building sometimes. Actually, let me look this up. Let's take a beautiful walk with Safi T. Crook. Because I remember being at a hospital in Rotterdam, and I think they had like little stores inside too. I think the Erasmus? Dude, I need... Yeah, here we go. I think it's Erasmus. Well, you gotta zoom in on that, Google Maps? Is that the one I'm thinking of? I think they had a big refurbishment recently, right? Was it Erasmus? I mean, it's a big-ass hospital. I think... Is there a... What's it called outside? I remember leaving the building, and very quickly I was able to enter a small little, like, thing going downstairs into the subway system. Yeah, there's like a metro exit right over there. And I think that's where I went in. So let's take a look. What shops are like directly outside of this hospital or even inside of it? Ooh. Where do we even go inside of the building? Let's see. There's the parking lot. Natural Historical Museum. Oh, there's a cafe like literally across the street. There's a little statue. These are all buildings associated with the hospital itself. Oh gosh, it's not it. They're doing more construction stuff. There is a medical supply store. Neat. Maybe that was what I saw. That was a florist. And apparently there's an Albertine to go. So there is like a supermarket in the fucking hospital building. And a bookstore. And a drugstore. And a coffee shop not too far from it. Damn. Like I said, man, I'm pretty sure that you don't have to go to a gas station. Jesus. It's really weird that I remember that, considering I had it like once. My mind is an enigma, and its capacity to save information is extremely spotty. Because, man, I remember the things that I don't have to. And I remember it so you don't have to. Man, movies suck. Wow. Always kind of makes me chuckle, right? When those old reviewers were always like so dismissive of the very media that they seek to review. It's something they're passionate about, and I get it, right? If you're passionate about something, it's easy to get angry because... But I would like to point out that those reviews were rarely ever constructive about what they were having problems with. Whereas here, I'm trying to constantly point out like how things could have been done better, how small steps left or right could have resulted in something more desirable, etc., 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 etc. It's like a whole discussion happening in one of the chats. I mean, all of this is more interesting than this, you know. You know what I really love, by the way, is I know several people who are in environments, and I'm like, how do you end up in an environment this toxic, right? There's a guy whose workplace is apparently, like, constantly shitting on him and making him clean biohazard that he's not qualified to clean up. And they keep, like, talking about his back, and they keep saying they're gonna fire him, and they never do. They just kind of keep him around as, like, this scapegoat. And now they're downsizing, and I'm like, they're not gonna fire you, man, because your workplace is, like, hell incarnate. Like, I don't even know why they keep you around at all. It seems to me like you're, like, the worst person there, as far as they're concerned. And then this other guy, like, every single one of his friends is, like, stabbing him in the back or calling him a loser. I'm like, why are they your friends? Like, yeah, I give a lot of people shit, but I always try to be nice about it, or to be constructive, point in the right way, or conscious of what I'm saying. Missing stare policy. What the fuck is the missing stare policy? You know what, let's make that the learning experience for today. Takes a crash out to get people talking about the state of affairs. And people are driving into a crash out. That's no good on several levels. They're truly friends of mine. I don't believe him, man. This guy, shit, he's been ringing up. My choice of species is unsustainable. This is about a furry guy. Apparently, people have been literally telling this furry, like, hey, I'm not doing art of your character because pigs aren't popular. And all I can think about is, like, what? Like, if I've learned anything right, it's if you draw weird species, you're gonna end up with that one guy who really wants you to draw their species, and it's like no one else does it, and you can carve out that niche, man, and you can charge thousands of dollars over time. Every decent furry artist knows that the market is about finding an angle you're willing to tolerate and just sucking it dry, baby. You might not feel proud of yourself, but nobody feels... So many people don't feel proud about their job. Not nobody. A lot of people feel proud about their job. But some people just gotta do the dirty work, you know? Someone's gotta go into the sewer and get that fatberg moving. Poking it with a big old stick. And some people drown in a fatberg. That's just how it goes. I'm honestly baffled that apparently pigs are not popular. I think it's because pigs just have associations in the furry fandom that are... Uh-oh! I love how every other person is like, what are you talking about? Like, what communities are you in? Like, every community I've ever been in with furries has never been like this. Whatever happened to Miss Piggy? And I'm gonna have to say, I'm seriously confused about this guy's ability. About these people's ability to end up in, like, the worst places. How's it happen? Anyway, where was I? Oh, yeah. Inko's in a really bad place, and apparently making terrible decisions. I'm not saying... Listen, I want to point out, right? You might have noticed in all my criticisms... I've complained about Inko making a really bad decision, but he's also emotional and out of it, and he's also trying to get drunk. Because he's kind of becoming an alcoholic because he wants to numb the pain, and also they're lowering his painkiller, so he's more inclined to do so. So, like, yeah, I can see why he's doing it. The problem is his environment should not be this conducive to it. Inko should feel a degree of shame for what he's doing. He's sneaking out at night, trying to get something. Like, you could have it be as simple as he acknowledges the receptionist, and she's like, oh, where are you going, Mr. Nito? He's like, oh, I'm just going outside. Mr. Nito, you do know that you're wanted for a court case in, like, 2 days, right, sir? You have to stay within the building. And he's like, no, I'm just going to the parking lot over there. I'm just going to get myself something at the gas station. You're like, okay. But if you go too far, I have to call the cops. And he's like, sure, whatever. You know, something simple like that. It doesn't have to be this whole climactic scene, but just enough so that we're like, Inko is probably feeling something about the fact that he's being addressed about his habits. And then when he comes back with a bottle, she's like, oh, Mr. Nito, what did you buy? And then he has to hide it, and he feels bad about it. Like, you build on that arc of, like, doing stuff he shouldn't be doing. Oh, man. Where you been, Inko? Who is it? Is it Eric? Oh, no, it's Liz. To my surprise, to go to the hallway, I was spit the alcohol out of my mouth. Wait, he's in a hospital and he's drinking alcohol. Like, I get that you're using a disguise, but like, motherfucker, alcohol lingers on your breath. People can smell that shit because alcohol evaporates fairly quickly. Jesus, man, you can't just walk. You can't just drink it while you're walking. Also, you might just get drunk halfway through and start stumbling through the hallway like an idiot. And of course, because you're in a hospital and you're not supposed to drink, they're like, Mr. Inko, are you suffering an aneurysm? And you have to explain why you're not. And that's, again, moments for Inko to feel shame over what he's doing. Where have you been, Inko? To my surprise, it's Liz, the future wife of the man I once called a husband. I'm baffled that they're still coming up together. To be honest, I'm honestly surprised that they ever met up to begin with. Like, I get Liz and Damien being like, oh, it's a high school fling, because Liz is horny, but I just don't see what those two characters have that would let them last a long while. I can see Inko and Olivia kind of working because they both do art, and they both have a respect for Yatacon, so they have something to build out of. I don't see what Liz and Damien have, other than she's horny and he's an idiot. Like, he doesn't even seem to know they're dating for the longest time. Maybe it's a cute joke, and, you know, comedy goes a long way, but, like, substantially, what does she get out of Damien? Like, I know transactionally looking at relationships is bad, but, like, transactionally, what really is there? How do they complete each other? What makes them have a good time, other than she doing his homework, which isn't relevant, since they are now doing separate things? Like, she wants to get a job and an apprenticeship and build a career. Where does Damien fit into all that? I was really bored and decided to take a walk. Why is she here on an autumn night? It's like 8. It's like 6 p.m. at the earliest, right? Why is she here? This man has a splint, and he's drinking booze. How do you get the cap back on? I don't remember the whale either. Morris was his name. Is Morris his name in Spanish? Because I don't... No, I imagine that the names are unchanged, right? I know this is translated from Spanish, so it might be that Morris is his name in Spanish, or it's supposed to, like, I get it, it could be a joke, but if it's gonna be a joke, then would he say something like, oh, is his name like Ferrite or Ferald? You know, something silly like that. Not Morris! Maybe it's an in-joke, I don't know. Of course, on the World Cup. Oh. I like how he said you did, you know, whatever. That's undo it. It's my stinking of whiskey. I feel like Ingo would say it's smelling of whiskey more than stinking, because you're talking about your own breath. So I kept my distance, so she was letting it close, and we was attention there. I think she already figured it out, man. Don't dinosaurs have, like, super good noses? They have all the good senses and all the good traits. They're, like, super superior to humans, and they're just as smart. So, like, what do humans have to offer in this world? I mean, thoughtful for a second, until she looked at me again and smiled. I don't like this. So many fucking fics do this, right? Why can't we describe her thoughtfulness as having some sort of characteristics or some sort of judgment calls from Inko? Like, oh, like everyone else, she just always sits there thinking. She's probably, like, trying to hide the fact that she wants to talk about my injuries, because she definitely does, and she takes a minute to just steer clear. You know, I don't know. What's your friend, an old classmate? Ah, your fellow alumni. When I heard the news, let's get to the point we're here for. Damien was here. What do you think is going to happen? Damien isn't taking it very well. Just tell... he's going to tell Liz about the thing, right? If he does, then... I get it, set up an execution, all that, but it's kind of been set up over 2 chapters, so I'm gonna give him full credit for that. Like, it's in this chapter that it's revealed that Inko never told Liz because he didn't care about it, but, like, the concept itself was established last chapter, which, again, is the kind of forethought that very few fics have been able to demonstrate. So for all the shit I've given him, I'll give him full marks if he pulls this off and at least sticks to the obvious thing that needs to happen. So, that's not my problem. It really isn't. Like... Liz, in case you haven't paid attention, Inko and Damien are not good friends anymore. They're not, like, in any capacity, like, good or close friends. Inko clearly doesn't care that much about what Damien thinks, and Damien is very weird and apologetic. Like, honestly, let Inko have his space. Well, I do care, it's my future husband, after all. So you're gonna defend him? That makes Damien look like such a fucking loser. That he sends his wife over to do this for him. Please, Les, my body hurts, and I'm soaked. And again, the room as soon as possible, go to sleep, be more direct. I want you to fix it with Olivia and Damien. Why Olivia? Remember, Liz, especially in the less optimistic endings, does not have a high opinion of Olivia. Like, regardless of how that thing in the tower goes, I'm pretty sure she is like, just fix it with Damien. Like, Olivia, who fucking cares, right? She'd be a second. Like, she'd be fix it with Damien and Olivia. You know, have a slight pause in between. Not necessarily an ellipses, but like a slight pause to indicate that she has to remember to say, you know, that kind of stuff. I never had a real problem with Liz. I wasn't upset with her like I was with the Pains or Olivia. Part of it was the fact that my interaction with Liz had been 0, and she had nothing. Yeah, because the fucking Wani and Snoot have some serious issue with establishing their side characters. They're very bad. I legitimately, and I want you to know this, I don't think they're good writing. I think they're good for what they're trying to do and what they're hoping to achieve, but, like, as general purpose, like, stories and worlds to explore, kind of shitty. Very self-deprecating about, again, the all humans suck at things stuff. Oh, that's right, if I'm drowning in the sea, just tell me to breathe, and that's it, huh? Well, yeah. That is the solution. Frowned at my sarcasm. I'm being serious, and it was selfish. Damien merely spoke to me the last month. I feel, Liz, like you have a different problem that needs to be addressed. And that's the fact that your husband apparently is so emotionally incapable of, like, separating his friend from you. Like, are you even that important to him if this is how he responds? Considering that apparently your wedding is coming up? Like, I don't know, man. This feels like something you need to talk about. Emotionally, what you're trying to get out of each other and what you hope this relationship will be. So, it was for that nonsense. I appreciate that he's just blatantly disregarding their wedding as nonsense. It really says something about the character. Again, he disregards them. And it works. It's word choice. Subtle. It's not overdoing it. And then he just goes too far into it. Shh! You were so close. Knowing how much of a perfectionist Liz was, she wanted her 10-minute time to be perfect, without her flaws. So, I feel like with how little Liz has shown up, could we at least acknowledge that Liz has gone the way that she said she would with apprenticeships and, like, all these funny businesses with the colleges and whatever she had in mind? Irritated me in a bad way. I want to yell at her, but the lungs won't let me. I thought you were over this part of your life. She'd be ashamed of yourself for coming here for me, though. You don't really care how I am. You just really... Honestly, for how dumb this fic has sometimes been with characters, that is actually a really accurate statement. I mean, does Inko have the emotional and social wherewithal for this? I don't know. But I do like that it's like, Liz, you're not even here for me. You're just here for your wedding. You're not even here for Damien, right? You're here for your wedding. You're here for your plans. She tried to keep it look serious, but I sobered it slightly. The problem I have with this, right, is that Liz should be aware of this. I feel like Liz is the kind of person who knows this and is just trying to keep up appearances. I don't think she should be surprised, per se. It also kind of puts a twist on things, because usually this is how people respond. They're like, oh no, someone figured me out. Someone is psychoanalyzing me. I would love it if someone's like, yeah, that's why I'm here, you motherfucker. Now do it. If you don't care, and I don't care, then fucking do it. What's the hassle? I thought you were going to be better than that, Liz. Why? Isn't the entire fucking tower scene about how Liz isn't better than that? Can't you see what they did to me? You mean Damien? Who's they? I pushed up my glasses better to show him the bandage cover. Oh my god. So again, in Spanish, you can ignore pronouns a lot of the time. And I'm pretty sure that verbiage doesn't cover this, so it's entirely plausible that when they translated this, like the pronouns just didn't come over right. Because Liz is not a man. Listen, I'm all for Liz being a trans woman or a guy, just full on Rule 43 or whatever, or 34 or whatever it's called. But like, we're not dealing with that, Liz, buddy. Come on. Bunch of cover was the scar. I ripped the badge off my face and showed it what the bariatrics had done to me. What she did. Her composure worked for a few seconds to shatter my wound. I'm pretty sure you're not, like, if your bandage is there and not getting replaced all that much, I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to touch it. Because at that point, again, it's structural and you're fucking shit up. If it's not, then at this point, they should be replaced again. It should be clean. I know they even told me it was serious, but if also, at this point, shouldn't the bleeding be gone anyway? Like, if it's structural, you should move it. And if it's not structural, then I don't think he should be able to bleed that long, because then you've been bleeding for months, for weeks. That's how bleeding works. That's how blood clotting is supposed to work. But I don't know. I've never had an injury that bad. So maybe it is, and I'm an idiot. Don't take my advice. I'm not a doctor. I wish I had a paper show I had my ribs were broken and poking through my lungs. Ah, papers, you mean the x-rays. You should have called them the x-rays. It's a fun time to use that phrase, because you rarely ever get times to use it. It's also funny that we call them x-rays when they are pictures made using x-rays. Radiography. Maybe you would generally care about instead of continuing to be a little puppet to your scheme. Remind me of... Yeah, Olivia. I like how he keeps, like, Olivia's so pretty, but also she's kind of, like, using me to live her life and do things that she shouldn't be able to because she's not growing up and taking responsibility for her own life, and I'm constantly shielding her from that. I'm sorry, I didn't know it was a series. I like how you didn't know this was a series. Surely Damien has talked at length about how serious it was. I guess she maybe was like, ah, Damien, stop, it's not that bad. Calm down a bit. Also, wouldn't Damien have taken a picture? I feel like he's the kind of guy to take a picture and go like, Liz, look how bad it is. You didn't believe me, but there it is. No, he wouldn't do that. That's a bit crass. A bit crass, a bit rude, too. Especially for someone you're going to marry real soon. Liz, don't worry, I understand where you're going with perfection. See, not perfect. Okay, listen. I fucking hate it when stories do this. Don't have characters do comeuppances. First off, Liz has been in this fic, like, once. You can't just have... Like, this feels like the writer has an issue with Liz, but refuses to actually establish Liz's problem. Like, we kind of... It's not great, man. It's terrible. You're just whining at this point. I'm whining. We're all whining. You should be flexible. Flexible about the part where your relationship sucks so much ass that it's causing collateral damage to her husband? Why would she think she's God? She thinks she can plan ahead, Inko. Her plans are pretty flexible. They're mostly about, like, where she's going to work and how she's going to do stuff. Like, what happened is really weird. And it's nothing that... The marriage luck has been a rough month. The trials, I want to go to bed. It's 2 days before trial. You should not be in this mindset. It can only go poorly. The hell is this? Liz seemed to turn pale. Why would that even happen to dinosaurs? Like, as far as I could tell, dinosaurs do not seem to have the same kind of circulation that humans do, because they're cold-blooded, so why would she be able to turn pale? I guess for emotional cueing, but don't they have tails that could probably fill in part of that gap? Like, the tail generally moves, and, like, it being stiff and straight could be an indication of that. The opposite of the penis. Looked over with a strange face. How would you know? I guess he doesn't know what he's doing. I opened the door to my hospital room and it continues nonsense. So you're having this conversation in the hallway? You were having this fucking conversation in the goddamn hallway? Good luck with the wedding. Everything goes well. You were supposed to be his best man. He won't have the wedding without you. I would love it if she just admitted that's the actual reason she's here. Like, listen, Damien is like being a real big stinky about this. Big stinky. My body stopped moving. As I watched the silhouette sitting on my bed, it felt like my heart stops. I like how... So let me get this straight, right? We're gonna... So she's actually here. Let me get this straight. You left your room after 6 p.m. So we're like, visitor hours are a little iffy. You went to a gas station, came back. Liz was there. Olivia's also somehow here. I don't know how Olivia got here. Like, this is not an easy trip for her to make, especially at night. Like, what the hell is happening? It's so, like, this needs to happen because the melodrama is the best instead of creating a situation where it works. Why couldn't this be any other time? Like, he could get his alcohol and talk about it in an offhand comment, and then later we have Elizabeth show. I don't know, man. I'm so pissed off. It's so, like, it's so close to being good if you just restructured it a little so it didn't get in each other's ways. Everything's getting in each other's ways. Also, you already had a weird conversation with Olivia while you were fucked up. Why do we need to have a second one? And the rain keeps hitting it. We're almost having a fucking motif with the rain. Get it? Because every time his life sucks, the rain shows up. That would be an interesting way to do things, but we're not doing that. Because the rain has been here the whole damn time. I'm sorry, I hugged her. Get sure because of Liz, I wanted to see you before the trial. I mean, I appreciate that Inko's like, listen, you're here because of Liz, right? Because obviously the two of you... no, I can't imagine Liz could convince Olivia, because Olivia is like a big dick about things. And they don't like each other too much, and I imagine that since we're dealing with a bad ending, the tower scene didn't go too well. I don't know, I just don't see this making sense in an ending 2 scenario. Does Eric know? Listen, Olivia, you literally have a restraining order from the hospital. I can't help you. Made silence for a few seconds. Why would she feel you? Why is that the verb you're using? Your perspective. You can't tell that. You would just say notice. She noticed you coming closer. And then all those emotions. Didn't want her hands touching my body to respond. I kind of like the idea that, again, he's not comfortable with her touching him, because the last time she touched him, he fell down a fucking stair and died. I feel like that would make you a little bit meh about it. Jesus fucking Christ, Inko. Have some trauma already. Aren't you drunk? Aren't you chugging your juice? It's jamba juice. I'm gonna be bizarre with them. What did you do to yourself, Liv? I felt guilty. Small scars at the tips of my fingers. It scratched like a few position of stretch tables. Could you just buy some fucking nail clippers, man? They probably have claw clippers. We have them for dogs. And dogs aren't even people in this in human world. So what dog is buying those clippers? It's humans buying those clippers, because humans care sometimes. And apparently sometimes it is a good idea. Like, those things can get a little too long and uncomfortable. Like how your nails can get too long and uncomfortable. You start scratching your screen, and every time I see a woman with those giant nails like clacking, I go, ah! And I feel it in my soul. Miss anything to each other. Eyes already watering. Should have called my diamond eye. Well, Inko, you look like shit, so I guess you're no longer handsome enough for me. I'm out. With great care, she caressed the casted arm, but though didn't feel anything, her tears began to follow the cast. It was a complete disaster. Oh no! She tried to say something with a broken voice, but she couldn't do it this time, Inko. This could be the last time you... Pulled out the ring. He says we give the finger, but I give to her palm, closing it behind her. Oh! I thought we were going to bring up the Liz thing, which feels like a way more obvious thing to do. I never imagined you would want to take that step. I mean, you set it up. Like, Damien was the one who broke up that scene, if anything. This is so awkward, man. Imagine that you broke up with someone, or you're like in the process of breaking up with someone, and they give you the engagement ring. You're like, I don't know. Are you proposing now, or what? I'd be confused. Did you cheat on me with Awolfo? I would never do anything like that. I'm a good, God-fearing Spanish Christian. Olivia, you're from Wisconsin. No! Anything in the world, I'd be just selfish. I wanted someone who actually could talk about art and have something to fucking say to you. But you know how vapid you are, Ingo? You're a simp. Goddamn. my wagon? What are you talking about? Launch it into the... What? I got jealous. Just talk to him like I never supported you. That hurt? I mean, yeah. The only reason you use the word support is because we all know why, and I fucking hate you for it. I will never stop giving people shit for this unless they are using it in a way that has been earned, and they never fucking do, because no one gets it. Like, it's not even deep, it's not even complex, it's not even good, but they just don't get it. Waggle, waggle, waggle. I remember, okay, so at the end of this, we're like almost at the end. Fucking, really? We're quoting Spears? Like, I get that someone else could have said this to Inko, but you're effectively just making this Snoot game at this point. We were talking about the pain. But not right now. I guess we're falling. Really? We're just Donald drop. We've already fallen down. Jesus fucking Christ. Get out of here, Undertale. Our last kiss, our last hug, your mouth tasted like wine. You rolled at the same on me. Inko, you had whiskey. You're not even having classy bourbon or brandy, like a hard-boiled. After the kiss, we just stayed hard to each other. I don't get this, right? Like, it feels to me like you clearly don't want to do this, but you also feel like you have to. I guess that's the point. Which is a really mature and, like, adult way of looking at things, considering how incredibly infantile the rest of this is. I promise it'll prove will be someone worth your while. And then several chapters later, none of that's come to pass. I don't know, man. This shit sucks. So basically, most of this chapter has been people telling Inko, hey, Inko, can we go back to normal? He's like, no. Jesus Christ. Chapter 5. We're still in Inko's head. Do we get an Olivia fucking scene again? Can I get Olivia in the room? Hello? I just want Olivia here. Hello? Oh, we do. Next chapter. Partway through, we go back to Olivia. It's just before the court case, too. Great. I love it. I love it. I love it. And then we go back to Inko in the last third. 61 days since the accident. Last update. What do you mean last update? It's like the last checkup with your doctor? You see, we were falling down. Last days of summer, months before the accident. Dude, we're going weird places with this. I think the only reason I'm still reading this is because it's an absolute fucking train wreck, but at times it sputters into life like a fish when you're not quite certain if it's suffocated to death yet. It's getting stinky though. Real dang stinky.